Hello, welcome back for Unit 3 of our American History 1 course here at Waldorf University. And as we continue through the course, we're making pretty good progress. This week in the video, I'm going to focus on our skill, which is historical agency and contingency. I'm going to briefly talk about the discussion board, and then I'm going to talk about your assignment for the week. So our skill this week is agency and contingency. And our definition for this is how individuals and groups shape the outcomes of historical situations. So we think about agency, we all experience this in our day-to-day lives, and that we make decisions and we live with the consequences positively or negatively. And things don't always turn out the way we seem, but we do have control over some of the things that happen to us. An example might be you decided to go back to college in order to open up future opportunities for you. Now, when and where those opportunities manifest themselves may be outside of your control, but if you have made this choice and you successfully make the other choices to finish your educational experience here at Waldorf University, you'll be ready when those opportunities come. People in history are the same way. They make choices, groups come together and they decide to take action in specific ways. We can see this in a variety of different historical situations and contexts. And so as we look at this week, you're going to take this skill over to the discussion board and talk about culpability for the American Revolution. And where does blame kind of lie? Is it with patriots, or is it with the crown, or is it with other groups of people or other individuals? One thing we do know is that agency played a huge role in the American Revolution. The idea that specific groups formed, be it the Loyal Nine in Boston, or the Sons of Liberty, or other groups like that, or even the Continental Congress, and different individuals took initiative throughout to support their own goals, whether that be military commanders in the field for the British, or individual people like Paul Revere working to kind of make choices in real time. So as this happens, I want you to think about agency and contingency and use that over on that discussion board. You also have a written assignment for the week. It's 2 pages in length, and the goal is to write a letter from 1776. So this is going to use our empathy skill that we're going to work on later in the course. And basically what I want you to do is to pull in some different information, use our evaluating evidence skill from last week, to then create kind of a letter to a family member like you were living in 1776. So some common pitfalls with this. Some people just really try to freestyle this without putting any thought or research into it. They say, creative writing exercise, I'll just kind of mail this one in. One of the things that I look for as I'm grading these, or maybe just a really basic standard, is, could my 9-year-old niece have written this letter? She knows a lot of things about the American Revolutionary War, probably because I'm her uncle and her dad's a social studies teacher. But are you just kind of typing out the most basic information that any third grader could put together? Or are you putting in the research that'll make your account a little bit different? So some ways to do that are to think about quantification and qualification. So what kind of numbers can you bring in from your research to show first that you did research, and then to help better make the points that you're trying to make? This is important throughout the course and probably in your work on a day-to-day basis. Providing specific numerical examples of the points you're trying to make can add great credibility to any of your writing. Qualification is also important. Specific details about events, things that can come together to illuminate how things happened and how people experience them. So we think about this, maybe some concrete examples will help you. First, when we think about quantification, if you talk about people dumped tea into Boston Harbor, that's different than talking about these specific quantities and the losses that the British East India Company experienced, and how those kind of scale of losses to their profits then undercut the goals of colonists, or kind of created a harsher response from the crown. Qualification would be looking at things like different conceptions of liberty, or how people viewed themselves in the British world. The idea that most colonists, as the revolution began, thought of themselves as loyal subjects that were hoping to make change within their own society, not blow up the existing order and create a new country, is important when we think about some of these conversations about the American Revolution. So as you work your way through the course, continue to bring your perspectives, do some research, put your best foot forward on the discussion board in that assignment. If you have questions or other concerns, make sure you're reaching out. I'm here to help you however I can. I appreciate the hard work you've put in so far, and I look forward to the great things you're going to do this week. Good luck.